Many thanks for staying with us. Of course, this is still Politics HQ on News Central Television. Now, the gale of defection in the new Nigeria People's Party, that's the NNPP, in Kano State has continued as Honorable Abbas Sani Abbas has equally joined the All Progressives Congress, the APC. Abbas, who served as the Commissioner for Rural and Community Development in Kano State, announced his defection from the NNPP during a visit to the Kano residence of the Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Barau Jibrin. Now, in the past 6 months, hundreds of leaders and members of the NNPP from across the 44 local government areas of Kano State have dumped the party and the Kwankwansiya movement, along with thousands of their supporters. Now, joining me on the program at this time to discuss these issues and governance in Kano State is Ibrahim, who is Ibrahim Abdullahi-Waiya, is the Commissioner of Information and Internal Affairs. He joins virtually from Kano State. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's great to have you on the program. Now, let me start by asking you the pretty much, well, I call it obvious question. What is going on within the NNPP, and why are we seeing a sort of wave of defection from the NNPP, particularly to the APC, where there's even a street palace for it called Barau Tsunami? What's it about?
Well, thank you very much for having me. And but let me dispute the fact that maybe like what you call Barau Tsunami. I think I'd not really want to share the same opinion with you, because one thing I understand that you know very well, the APC has gotten people into a lot of difficulty in this country, and people are hardly finding it very difficult to survive. And considering that people are actually looking and exploring ways of getting a little support from the same government that has been starving the people. So this is actually what is happening. So the same APC that is starving Nigerians, it is the same also, some segment of it, or some individuals in the party are also providing some help and hand to some individuals who could not actually contain themselves and who could not actually control and probably be contented with what is actually happening in the country, considering the very much difficult economic situation we're facing in Nigeria. So Barau has decided to offer this probably as a market for those that are interested to be part of it, and providing some little incentive for those that think that they can really have an opportunity, take advantage of the situation, to have something at least for them to use, so that they can at least maybe reduce some of the economic hardship they are facing in the country, particularly which is being caused by the APC government. So this is generally the way how I really actually look at it.
Okay, I mean, you're making reference to the hardship caused by the APC government and what your party is doing. But on the contrary, what we are seeing is members of your party and even the Kwankwansiya movement defecting to the same party that you claim caused the hardship, you know, across the country and in the state. What is going on here actually? How does this make sense to Nigerians that are observing the goings-on, you know, in Kano?
The Kwankwansiya movement is still very much intact in the country, and nothing is actually shaking its own foundation, because it is a foundation that is actually and very fundamentally built on ideology. If you do not want to share the same ideology, then probably you may like to, or you may really decide to leave. But generally speaking, when you talk about NNPP, is a party that is actually formed, or that was actually happened in the country, is that many of the politicians in the country find in those days, we know very well, many politicians, no matter the situation in a party, and they also take on with that situation, and they consider that as a struggle for them, because they know very well they have a goal that they want to actually achieve. So generally speaking, this is what is actually the whole thing. And this is a movement for inclusivity as far as the youth in the country is concerned. And most of the time now we have really understood that it is actually a movement that is actually bringing so much revolution in the country. A political revolution on ideology it doesn't give anybody any money. We all believe that it is just only an ideology based.
Okay, I mean, just to get a perspective of this. So, are you saying the NNPP as a party is not bothered that some of its members are jumping ship? in Kano State?
Please, can you come back again?
Okay, so my question is, I asked that is NNPP bothered that any of its members or some of its members are leaving the party? Are you saying that the party is not bothered that some of its members, are jumping ship?
No, ideally, a political party is a place where it's expected to be a congress or an assembly of the people where people will come and rally around and build the same ideology for the purpose of establishing a system of governance that will really actually help in emancipating the masses from whatever situation they are in, particularly building on the governance, good governance practices. But in a situation where some feel like probably they may not really persevere, like I said, because of the situation that the APC has gotten the people into, they may really like to maybe try another option so that they can leverage on the little incentive that is being provided by some individuals in the party, in the APC party. Because what actually they're doing, they are buying people. They are buying people with the money, not actually convincing people based on ideology. And you know very well that every Nigerian, not any right-thinking Nigerian, would love to be part of the APC now, generally speaking, that except only if probably you either been maybe on admission in the hospital because probably you have a mental retardation, or probably you are just only recovering from sickness or something like that. But you cannot have somebody who really believes in the struggle of emancipating the masses in the country to join the APC, despite the difficulty that people are facing, the difficulty people are undergoing. And now you think about somebody getting into APC. Definitely that person, you must ask him whether probably he's doing that just simply because there is something that he's going to gain materially, or probably he is sick somewhere, probably of hate. That is actually what I believe in.
Okay, we will definitely come back to this conversation, but we'll need to go on a quick break. Mr. Ibrahim Abdullahi-Waiya, once we return, we'll definitely pick up on what the current administration is doing for the people of Kano State. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. If you just joined in, this is still Politics HQ on News Central Television. And of course, I'm speaking with Ibrahim Abdullahi-Waiya. He's the Commissioner of Information and Internal Affairs, Kano State. He joins virtually. Thank you for staying with me. Now, let's start off with continue with some of the things that the current administration is doing for the people of Kano State. We know that there are initiatives around education, around waste management. Precisely, particularly, what has the administration of the NNPP in Kano State tangibly achieved so far for the people of Kano?
Thank you very much for this wonderful question. One of the things of empowering a very, very important and critical society. And that is why reasonable and responsible leaders focus on that, and they give the needed attention to that as one of the ought to be as a priority. And that is exactly what the NNPP government is doing in Kano State, because His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, has declared a state of emergency in the education sector, and he also invested the highest budgetary allocation ever in the history of the state, and more than any other state in the country, to the tune of over 29.30% in the 2024 budget. And the same thing also has been reflected in the 2025 budget. At the same time, we are having the highest allocation in education sector. And also foreign scholarship is still going on. We now have currently about 1,001 youth that are also undergoing different kind of educational programs outside the state, outside the country, pursuing their own different master's degree programs. And at the same time also, the government is rigorously now embarking on school enrollment, where the target is we want to see that no child is left out of the school and everybody get enrolled in the school. Today, as I'm talking to you, the governor had just in a few hours ago flagged off the distribution of school materials, particularly the uniforms, to more than 700,000 fulfills of local government. These are very critical effort and critical transformation agenda in the education sector that we're doing. All our higher education learning, Institute of Higher Learning, are all undergoing critical support, or they are receiving critical support from the state government, and they are doing very well. And the Northwest University which is still on, has getting a lot of accreditation
I'm sorry, sir. We are having a bit of
particularly
difficulty comprehending what you're saying, sir. Seems to be, connectivity issues. But if you can hear me, you said that quite a lot is being done within the education sector, where you said scholarships are being given, students, the quality of education is being ramped up. But let's talk about the living standard of the average resident in Kano. We know that right now, basic items, like feeding, accommodation, seems to have gone up. And we also know that federal allocation to states right now have also gone up, meaning that governors have, more money at their disposal to the benefit of the people. So I would like you to be specific in terms of infrastructure. What is the government putting in place, or what has it done in terms of economic infrastructure, and also, physical infrastructure too, generally, to better the lives of residents in the state, specifically?
Thank you very much for that question. And say again, one thing that is very much evident that I can share with you is the issue of the small-scale industry development in the state. Just recently, the small-scale industry associations in Nigeria awarded His Excellency, the Executive Governor. And if you really want to touch the economy, you will have to be talking about the small-scale industry in the country, because they are actually one of the engine room for economic development and for economic thriving in any society. And that is one of the priorities that the Executive Governor is also giving. The issue of also human development, which is actually in form of empowerment. The Governor is providing monthly empowerment programs for 4,400 women across the state to improve, and then a monthly ritual that the Executive Governor is doing. Even last time, the last one that he did was about 5,200 women who benefited from that scheme. And it's still going on. It has been now institutionalized as a monthly ritual, which is actually about, and we have about 24 institutions, different institute of learning different kind of skills, which the previous government closed down all. But this government was able to offer them, and many of them have started working, and they are all absorbing many number of youth, many number of young girls and boys being undergoing different kind of skills, and they are getting empowered by that. And currently, the governor is also on a robust empowerment program for the youth, which actually is coming out very soon. And this is the target of the women, or the segment of the women that I told you about, which 4,400, that is 100 from each of the 44 local governments for benefit from this. This is a standing order. This is a monthly ritual that I told you about that. Then again, we look at also the other indigenous people in the state, particularly the young people, especially those that are actually into Togri. The state government has introduced a project called Safe Corridor, which I am also part of the project team that are working on. And we are trying to see how we can actually rehabilitate, support, and reform these young people. Many of them, about 720, have now repented, and they have surrendered, and they have agreed to demobilize themselves. Okay. And they are now at the mercy of the state government, and the state government is taking now steps now to empower them so that they can actually gain or recover themselves from actually what they've been induced, been into. The Togri, especially, that was actually institutionalized by the previous government, where many young people were actually recruited into Togri. And I mean,
you're talking about Togri. You are making reference to some efforts being made to curb Togri in the state. I would like you to also, yes, let us know if anything is being done as regards the Almajiri system in Kano State.
Very good, very good. That is a very wonderful. I'm also part of one committee which the state government has also established, a very high-powered committee which comprising of about 4 commissioners with other also stakeholders from across the state, and is headed by the Commander General of the Hispa Board, which is actually looking at reforming the system, the Almajiri system generally. We have now so far been able at least to pick up some of those young people that are actually roaming on the street, especially those that do not have where to live or where to stay or where to sleep. We are counting more than 290 of them currently, and the state government is providing everything for them, the shelter, everything you can think of, 3 square meals, including meat that are even an ordinary person cannot even access to. They are being given every kind of support, and also medical health care is also provided for them free of charge. They are now under the observation of the Kano State government. We are looking at very soon they will be reunited with the family, and we want this to be completely entrenched as a practice that the remaining Abbas take a coffee from, and we make sure that we try to rescue the lives of these young people who are actually roaming on the street. We are targeting these young people to make sure that no child is allowed to be roaming around, or no child is left to be roaming around the street without going to school. This is actually one of the commitment of His Excellency, and we are on that, and we are very much determined about that. Except that we all the time now be seeking for the support and cooperation of other states to also join in, because there are many young children are roaming on the street of Kano who are not actually from Kano.
Okay, now let's come back to, of course, internal politics within the NNPP. What's the relationship like right now between the current governor of the state, Abbas Yusuf, and also Senator Abdullahi-Waiya?
Is there any relationship between a former governor or the current governor? The relationship that is existing is human. Yes, of course.
Is it? Maybe I should be very specific. Is it cordial?
How?
I'm asking.
When they, of course, really, when they meet, they can agree. When they meet, they can. The only thing is that they are all from different camps of political interests, and everybody could relate, but everybody is safeguarding his own political interests and also his own ideology. Definitely, we cannot work, or we cannot be in the same climb of where Dr. Abdullahi-Waiya is doing, because we do not believe in his own ideology. We do not believe in his own approach. We do not believe in his own system, in his own approach to governance. And actually, we are not actually in the same or on the same page with the way they're doing things, because definitely APC is not actually the party to go for, and it's not actually the party to align yourself with, because it has completely destroyed the country, and it's not really something that you can align yourself. We can never.
I believe you didn't get what I said. I'm asking of
progressive people.
Okay, I believe you didn't get what I said, but when we return from this break, I would repeat the question again. I asked if the relationship between the current governor, Abbas Yusuf, and Senator, Kwakwanso is cordial. But I believe probably you thought I was talking about Abdullahi Ganduje. But when we return, we'll speak on that. Do stay with us. It's still Politics HQ, and we, of course, are talking about governance in Kano State. I have Mr. Ibrahim Abdullahi-Waiya, Commissioner of Information and Internal Affairs, Kano State. He joins virtually. And, of course, thank you for staying with me, sir. Before we went on that break, I was trying to establish from you what the relationship between the current governor of the state, Abbas Yusuf, and Senator Rabiu Musa Kwakwanso is like. And I asked specifically, is it cordial?
Yeah, now talking. I think it's an understatement for me to tell you that it is cordial, because the relationship is so cordial, because Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwakwanso, you're talking about, he's a leader, he's a mentor, and he's somebody that we look up to. We look up on for direction in certain things, for advisory and the rest of that. Yes, he's a leader to be emulated, and we are very much proud of him. We are so much proud of his ideology, especially the ideology he has actually implanted on the minds of many young people that are actually.
But some members of the party, feel that the influence.
Yes.
Some members of the party feel that the influence of Senator Kwakwanso is pretty much overbearing, particularly on the governor. I mean, what's your reaction to that?
Well, that is an insinuation. You cannot stop somebody from insinuating anything. Everybody is free to insinuate anything. When you wake up after sleeping, then you can insinuate anything. You can imagine anything. Like myself, particularly, I was not a politician before I came into the whole thing, and I do not really in any way been relating with Dr. Rabi Musa Konkoso politically. So, if really the way how they are insinuating that everything government is being done only is one concept, only is one.
We, of course, are having a bit of difficulty hearing you. There seems to be some sort of connectivity issues. If you can hear me, sir. But let me... Okay, I understand that we, of course, lost the commissioner, but of course, once we are able to establish connection, we will bring him back. We are discussing governance in Kano State, where we are looking at matters arising, a wave of defection from the NNPP, the ruling party in Kano State, to the APC, where some members have expressed dissatisfaction, with the happenings within the party. We know that just a few days away, the secretary to the Kano State government, who is now former secretary, Abdullahi-Waiya, was sacked, and he has threatened that he would open a can of worms about betrayals within the political space when the time is right. Now, this is one of many individuals, or some individuals, who have expressed dissatisfaction within the party. Some left willingly, while some have been ousted. And of course, I've been speaking with the Commissioner of Information and Internal Affairs, who joined me virtually, talking about some of these issues. At this point, we'll go on another break. When we return, of course, the show continues. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. Of course, this is still Politics HQ. A while ago, we were speaking with the Commissioner of Information and Internal Affairs in Kano State, where he spoke to us about governance in the state. But right now, I'll be switching gears to the People's Democratic Party, where the ongoing standoff between Sunday Ude Okoye, whose appointment was upheld by the Court of Appeal, and Senator Sam Ayahu, who is challenging the ruling, has brewed growing anxiety and confusion within the People's Democratic Party, threatening to destabilize its operations and deepen internal divisions. As the People's Democratic Party, PDP, prepares to resume full operations today, the party is embroiled in a deepening leadership tussle, with two rival claimants to the position of National Secretary set to report for duty. Now, recall that Ude Okoye, confirmed by the Court of Appeal as the legitimate National Secretary, has signaled his readiness to take control of the office, with supporters already mobilizing for the official resumption. Let's listen to Debo Olugunlagba, the People's Democratic Party National Publicity Secretary, and Samuel Anya, the factional National Secretary, as they share their perspective on this crisis.
The issue of the Court of Appeal judgment relating to the position of the National Secretary. I'm sure you know the background to all the cases where we have two cases, two orders, and then there was the Court of Appeal. Two appeal court cases. And on 24th of December 2024, after consultation with the legal advisor, the Office of Legal Advisor, it was confirmed that we have received the judgment on the two appeals, affirming Right Honorable S.K.E. Ude Okoye as the National Secretary of the party. And the question was put to me that, what's the position of the party? And I said the background, and I'm repeating that exactly. We are a rule of law compliant party. We believe in this finality of the judicial process. We've always respected judicial pronouncement, and we will always abide by court judgment. And that is what I said. And the position of the party has not changed to that. We will, as a party, consistent with our position in the past, as rule of law compliant, we will obey the order of court. We will follow the processes and ensure full compliance to the pronouncement of the Court of Appeal, because that is the position as of today.
Maybe he didn't get the facts correct, or probably he never knew that the matter has been appealed and is in the court, Supreme Court, and he's a lawyer, so he should understand that that is the position of the law. Well, the party is intact. What I have to say is that this party belongs to the people, not to an individual, not to a person, not to a group, but to the people. Because this is the only party that took power away from the military. And this party is in every family in Nigeria. So I always ask for our party faithfuls to be strong, to remain firm with the party, and let's work together. It's possible, 2027 is possible for us to get that presidency, which all of us have been suffering from.
Now let's give you a bit of a backstory as to how all of this unfolded. Now the leadership crisis within the People's Democratic Party, that's the PDP, escalated as two figures, Sunday Ude Okoye and Senator Sam Anyanwu, both assert their claims to the office of the National Secretary. The power struggle has caused deep divisions within the party, particularly amongst members of the National Working Committee, that's the NWC, and the Board of Trustees, that's BOT, threatening to destabilize the party as it resumes operation after the holiday break. Now, Sunday Ude Okoye, who was declared the substantive National Secretary by the Court of Appeal in Enugu, has gained the support of some key members in the NWC and the BOT. However, Senator Anyanwu, who continues to contest the court ruling, insists he remains the legitimate office holder, citing his ongoing appeal to the Supreme Court as the basis for his claim. A big one. Now, as the crisis deepens, there are growing concerns about the impact of the party's unity and ability to present a cohesive front moving forward, especially with the legal battle which has continued. The outcome of the Supreme Court ruling could be a critical turning point for the PDP, as he added that Ude Okoye, despite the court ruling, has no authority to assume the position. The Court of Appeal had ruled in favor of Ude Okoye, affirming his nomination by the Southeast Zone of the PDP as Anyanwu's replacement. The court's decision followed Anyanwu's initial resignation from the position to contest the Imo State governorship election. Now, after his defeat in the election, Anyanwu returned to reclaim the National Secretary post, arguing that there was no vacancy. Ude Okoye, however, maintained that his nomination and subsequent court judgment affirmed his legitimacy. He has been seen at the party's Wadata Plaza as secretariat during the holiday, signaling his intent to assume full control of the office. The conflict raises critical questions about the PDP's internal governance and adherence to its constitution, as Senator Anyanwu has consistently argued that the Court of Appeal overstepped by interfering in what he considers internal party affairs. A big one for the People's Democratic Party, and many questions too as regards its stability and unity, particularly as it forms a solid front or position against the ruling All Progressives Congress. Now, for many, they will say politics has started ahead of 2027, as we are beginning to see permutations and, of course, alliances happen here and there. Now, what will be the implication of this as regards unity within the party and its leadership? Top questions, tough answers. We'll go on a quick break. When we return, the show continues. Stay with us. Well, that's the beat we can take on today's episode. In case you missed out, you can actually catch up on our YouTube platform. That's at News Central TV. You can also choose to follow us across social media with the same handle as displayed on your screen. At some point later tonight, we will have a repeat broadcast. You can catch up there. You can choose to follow me personally at Dakwo Adigboyi. It's been a great one tonight. It's important that I also state that No matter who you are or what you do or where you stay, where you live, where you come from, if you're a Nigerian, you're a stakeholder in the leadership and also the formation of this country. You play a pivotal role. Your voice counts. Don't be silenced. Speak and be part of the progressive transformation of our nation towards progress and prosperity. It's important you and I are stakeholders. Until I come your way tomorrow, good night.